What do you think?
Are we live? I think we're live.
I think so. Yes.
Hi, everyone. There's always this little delay when we Zoom and Facebook live at the same time, right?
Yeah, there is. Well, I always find there to be a delay anytime when you go on Facebook Live, because even though sometimes it counts down and it says you're live, you're never fully sure if you're live yet.
Never fully live. I feel like you are at an angle. Like your screen is straight, but you look like this to me.
I am.
I don't know why.
I
It's fine. It's totally fine. It's like that perspective, that like look.
I look like I'm.
We're going to talk about perspective today too.
Oh yeah, perspective is, when I used to teach social studies, I had this picture, and everybody's probably seen it. When you look at it, some people see an old woman, like a witch, and the other time you look at it, you can see this young lady with this,
Beautiful, yeah.
Yep. So I always think about that. Every time somebody says perspective, I'm like, that picture just comes to mind, because sometimes you see one, sometimes you see the other, sometimes you can see both.
Hang on. This is crazy. This is so crazy. But Deb, I swear to you, where is it? It's this picture.
Yeah, that picture. That's it. Yep.
It's in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. We're going to do this study in our membership group next month. So it's funny that you said that.
Yeah.
So speaking of perspective, I just got back because I went to the dentist today.
Oh.
Right. This is what everybody says. And let me tell you, I almost canceled. It was like, I looked at my calendar last night and I was like, oh, I don't want to go to the dentist. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I really was like, okay, I think I'm just going to cancel. I mean, it's COVID. Everybody can cancel, right?
Right.
Just whatever, not coming. And then I actually just thought about it, because it's so interesting where it led my head to. A few people this week reached out to me and they're like, I have to do the 4 weeks to wellness. I have to do the 4 weeks to wellness. I'm going to totally do it. And then they didn't do it. They didn't commit. Right. And I'm like, ooh, at the last minute, they were like, no, I have to eat healthy. Right. Like they were just like, and I was really going to cancel my dentist appointment. And then I was like, no, you know what? Like, I love the feeling after the dentist.
I do too.
And I'm like, I gotta go at some point. I gotta do this. I'm just gonna go. So I'm sitting in the chair and she's scraping my teeth and I'm like, ugh, like I'm all tense. It's the anticipation of the pain. It didn't even hurt, but it was like, I was anticipating the hurt.
Yeah.
And that was enough for me not to want to go. But when I really sat and thought about it, I thought of 2 things. One was, it's really not that bad. It's like 30 minutes. Like, let me really just like play it out in my mind. Yep. And I got out of the house, right? 1. And 2, I was thinking about my mother-in-law who has no dental insurance. She doesn't go get her teeth cleaned. She can't. She it's just not within the budget for her to be able to do that. Yep. And I thought, I'm laying in the chair and I'm like, I get to go to the dentist. Like, what a different way of looking at the dentist. And now I said, I just got back to the dentist, and went with your face. You were like,
oh, yeah.
But when we go there with it, then the media is, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. Let me try to get out of it. Like a couple of people did last week when I thought for sure they were going to do the 4 weeks to wellness. And they're like, nah. When you really think about what the 4 weeks to wellness is, it is an opportunity. It's something you get to do for your body. And so when I think about laying in that chair and I'm like, I get to go to the dentist. I have lived all over the world and I have been in 3rd world countries. What a privilege it is that I get to do this for my body, that I get to go to the dentist. And so it got me thinking about mindsets and the kinds of things that we tell ourselves as true. And if we could change our perspective on them, it actually might change everything.
Yeah.
Right? What is the thing that you always talk about to our clients about can't? When we think about, I can't go. I don't have time. I don't want to And I've said to Peter, I can't go to the dentist. I didn't do work all weekend. I have so much to do. I was, what is it? And you popped into my head when I thought that.
I always, and this actually happened to me when I was, pre all of this, when I was commuting to work, I was listening to a podcast one day, and there was a woman who came on and she was talking about the difference between can't versus won't. And I remember thinking to myself, like, oh, I needed to find a time during my day when I could work out. And, you know, I had a very busy schedule, like most people, running all over the place. And so I was like, I can't wake up at 4:30 in the morning to get to the gym at 5 o'clock. And that was like the dialogue that kept going on in my head. And then I was listening to this podcast, and this woman said, replace the word can't with the word won't. And I was, of course, I'm driving in my car and I was like, oh, dang. Okay, that changes everything. So the next morning, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to get up at 4:30, and I'm going to replace I can't get up at 4:30 with I won't get up at 4:30. And when I replaced the word can't with the word won't, it completely changed my perspective on things. Because and I was able to do it. I got up, you know, at 4:30, I had my shake, I went to the gym, and I was done with my workout by 6 o'clock, and I felt fantastic. And I would come home and take a quick shower and then jump in the car and commute to work. And it just that one little thing was amazing in how it changed my perspective on and I do that a lot now. Like, I will replace can't with won't. And if you think about I can't do something versus I won't do something, it triggers a different part of your mind that's just sort of like, well, why would I not do that? I mean, that just seems ridiculous right now. So
I could tell you on 3 fingers how many times I've ever gone to the gym at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Until quarantine. And then in order for us to work out at all, our gym was offering a virtual, and my husband, the only way he could do it with timing was to 5:45. And for 4 straight months, we have done 5:45, 5 days a week.
It's possible.
So that way it was a total I won't. And I think about other people can. Why can't I? Right?
Yep.
So
now, there's always the 5 a.m. crew, and they're a crew. I mean, they are this tight knit family because they're all always there. So yeah, but
it's true. And so when you think about, okay, so we've talked about what I get to do, right? Versus what I have to do, and can't versus won't. Yeah. And I have a really good example of that. And I thought about it actually, I was just pouring my tea in fizz stick, which is what I have every morning, my detox tea with a citrus fizz. I would love to know, people who are fizz stick fans, how do you love your tea? I like in hot water, I like it with a citrus fizz.
I agree with you.
You do. And then when I have water, I like it with pomegranate or watermelon or strawberry. And I usually put a Mind Health with it because I swear that helps with my focus and attention.
But it's funny because my friend Katie, she will not drink the tea. I mean, it's not that she won't drink it with citrus if she only has citrus, but she prefers pomegranate with her tea.
Her tea.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, no, I tried it once. I was like, girl, I don't know why you're drinking.
Yeah. You know what I like in my tea too is the rosé champagne.
Oh,
but
yeah, that one.
I don't make that anymore. It's like I ration that one, and I don't like that in the water. I only like it in my tea. So anyway, I digress. So, and fizz sticks, I won't digress for a second. Fizz sticks are this amazing energy boost. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, better than coffee, all natural, really, really incredible. So, can you read what my cup says?
Yes,
Merida. Yeah. So this is where I lived last year in Mexico, right? And I grabbed this mug and I'm like, and I was thinking about what we were doing in what we were going to talk about today. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is I can't even believe I grabbed this mug. This is perfect because picture this.
Yes.
My 2 teenage girls, 7th grade, going into 7th grade, going into 8th grade. And I say to them, hey, what do you say about moving to Mexico for a year? You can learn Spanish. They were going, right? 2 middle school girls. They were like, hell no. Yep. No, Mom, I can't do that. No. What? I don't even speak Spanish. I'm like, that's kind of the point. Mm-hmm. I remember night after night crying in bed, begging for me. And I remember saying to them, you're going to thank me later. You're going to thank me later. But let's think about this. When I tell people, and just Sunday night, I was at a wine tasting, drinking clean wine. And they asked me something about where I lived. And I said, Mexico. And they said, why? And I said, I wanted my girls to learn Spanish. Yeah. I have an online business and I'm able to live anywhere and or work from anywhere. And so I wanted them to learn Spanish. And they said, I could never do that. I could never do that. I'm like, you can.
Yeah, you can.
You just got to decide that it's important enough to you. Your why has to be strong enough. That was what we started this whole month off, right? My girls had no why. They were just like, this is miserable. My entire life is my friends in middle school, you know? And so for the first 4 months, it was really torture. And they were crying every day. And I remember saying to my husband, I called him because he didn't come with us. It was just me and my girls that moved there. And I remember saying, I don't think this is going to work. Because it was miserable. But I remember saying to them, you're here. You're doing this.
Right.
You can either make the best of it and go all in and learn it. Because imagine where you're going to be in a year from now if you opted out. If you just chose not to focus on this and do this, you're still here. You're still living it.
Yep.
You'll be really disappointed in yourself. You're going to be a little embarrassed, but really more than that, you're going to be disappointed in the opportunity that you wasted. So it was like, you can do this.
Yep.
You get to do this. Let's be honest. This is a huge privilege that you get to do.
Yeah.
But also, let's fast forward in a year. The days go by slow, but the years go by fast.
They do. And as you get older, it goes by faster.
And so I always ask people, where are you going to be in a year from now if you say yes to something that's scary, something that might be hard, something that might be outside of what you normally do? Yeah. But how much better off will you be? My girls speak Spanish. Yeah. I remember in like November of last year, and Ellie said, Mom, I kind of understood a couple of things in class today. They were taking biology and physics all in Spanish. Yeah. They were so much braver than I was. I was in my apartment working in English all day, right?
Yep.
They were amazing. And so I always think about, okay, let's like that perspective. Let's ignore right now and how it feels right now. And let's go into a year from now and think, do I want to be doing the same thing, saying the same things, telling the same story in a year from now as I am today? In a month from now, as I am today, right? And so I think about, people ask me, how did you do it when we went there? And like, what did we do? Well, we didn't just like jump in day one. And I'm like, did you understand? Did you learn? No, they didn't know anything. And in fact, it was like so bad at first because they were like, it was bad, really, really emotionally struggling, right? But we were all super clear on our why. And eventually they kind of got on board. And it was one small thing a day.
Yeah.
Right. And it was one goal. You're going to try to speak Spanish 10% more than you spoke it.
Yep.
Or you're going to just try to say like a word in Spanish, right? Say thank you. And it was one small thing. And every day they got in the car and I said, what was your goal? We before they got off, I dropped them off. They had one goal for the day. And then when I picked them up, they had to report on that goal. And it might've been, I sat next to somebody that didn't speak English at lunchtime for your whole day. One small step at a time. Yeah. And those small 1% of progress every day adds up.
Yeah, it does.
To fluency.
Yep.
Those girls speak Spanish. It's so crazy, right?
That's really a gift. And, you know, sometimes as parents, like we know that we're asking our kids to do something that we know in the long run is going to be good for them. And we sort of push them out of their comfort zones. And that's kind of, you know, our role as parents and even as coaches too. I mean, when we coach people, sometimes they're not fully 100% invested in what they're doing. But when you ask them to find their why and you say, you can do this. This is, you know, this is something that you, as you said, this is something that you get to do for yourself. You get to eat clean and healthy and understand your body. I was talking to a client yesterday and she says that like one of the best things about, you know, she's heading into week 3 and she's like, one of the best things is that I'm becoming more in tune with my body. I understand what kind of food my body needs. I understand when my body needs food. Like I'm listening to my body. And that's really the best like gift that I can give myself because, and I know for myself too, and probably for you as well, when you do it the first time, like you really become in tune with like what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And that's like, you listen to your body. And a lot of times we ignore our bodies because, you know, we're just kind of pushing through. But this month kind of I don't want to say, you get to listen to your body. You get
Well,
to,
you're removing the interference of all the other garbage to really truly know what's going on. Yesterday, a prospective client texted me and said that her doctor says she has to stop eating all meat and wants her to go on a plant-based diet. And I'm like, well, we can support you on that,
yeah,
but we're not actually, I've coached a cardiologist before. Like there's like don't eat red meat, don't eat meat, right? Like these like blanket statements. And I'm like, here's the thing, when you're eating healthy and correct and including the right kinds of animal-based products, then you're removing the interference. And then you have a much better understanding of what's going on with your heart health and all of that. Just saying, cut out all meat is not the answer. It is about doing it correctly. And so I think the biggest piece is removing the interference when you know you're truly doing something correctly to truly then be able to know what's actually going on, if anything at all. Right?
Exactly. And sometimes it's just that your body, I know, like for me, my body had reached a point where it was like, no, this is ridiculous. And just
most of us, right?
And eating clean for 28 days and continuing to do 80-20 really helps me just feel like my best self.
But then also balancing it with PFC, right?
Oh,
because I've done clean before and it didn't matter.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I mean, it matters for a little while, obviously, but long-term it doesn't. So the other piece I want to talk about when it comes to perspective is the fact that I'm going, whenever we do the show together, on Mondays, I go and volunteer at a soup kitchen. Yeah. And every Monday that I'm there, it's going to be 100 degrees today. It's going to be stinking hot, right? Every day that I'm there, this guy, BJ, is there. And BJ is amazing. When I say amazing, I've never met anybody like him. He has no arms. He's born with no arms, and he volunteers at the soup kitchen. He definitely does not live a privileged life. He takes the bus every day. Sometimes somebody will drive him if he doesn't have enough money for the bus. Isn't able to work, and is on disability. So just kind of lives what he can, gives back. So he volunteers 4 to 5 days a week in the soup kitchen. But what does he do, right? Because he has no arms, so he's limited in what he can do. When I tell you the man delivers masks to people, he puts it under his chin and he brings them masks. He will guide people through the line. He will remind people to put masks on. He will literally pick up tables with his toes. Like he picks up things with his mouth. I am in awe with him every day. He just thanks God for giving him the life that he has, that he can give back to others. And I think that is perspective.
Yeah, it is.
That is like when we complain about belly fat or that we're not as skinny as the person next to us, and we look at our lives and comparison is the thief of joy. And then I look at BJ and I think, you are joy. You give me joy. You make me realize it doesn't matter what my number is on the scale. Who am I? How am I using the gifts that I have? The gifts are not whether or not I have a six-pack. That has nothing to do with my value on earth. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
BJ offers more value with his limitations than I see most people who are fully able.
Yep.
And I think how much more could we do for others and for ourselves if we had a better perspective, if we had BJ's perspective.
Yeah.
And so I hope that today you start to think about some of these lies we tell ourselves, some of these beliefs that dictate our actions.
Yeah.
What do we get to do that truly is honestly a privilege that others don't get to do, right? How are we looking at a situation, and are we looking at it as something that is a blessing and an opportunity? Or do we want to look at it as something that's a curse, right? Yeah. And it's the same thing. It's just on how we look at it. Yeah. Do we want to look at this as something I can't do, or is it really just something you aren't willing to do? Yeah. And if it's something you're not willing to do, that's fine. But understand the results that you continue to get are because of an unwillingness to make a change.
Right.
And that change doesn't have to happen by saying, okay, now I got to dedicate to 5 o'clock in the morning working out, and I got to dedicate to eating clean 100% of the time, and I got to figure out PFC, and I got to, no, one thing at a time. My daughter's goal in Mexico, one of the days was to sit next to somebody.
Yep.
And she's fluent now in Spanish. That one thing fully contributed to her fluency in Spanish, even though it doesn't feel like that.
Yep.
So one thing that I thought we could share with people to do in terms of a small thing is right in line with an offer that I am very excited about that has nothing to do with me, but we very much wholeheartedly endorse the Arbonne product line, right?
Yep.
And there's a lot of reasons why. I mean, this organization has been around for 40 years. They developed gluten-free and non-GMO before it was ever even a thing.
Yep.
They were the ones that got me off of my 5 to 6 cups of coffee a day with my fizz and my detox tea. Yep. Fully committed to pure, safe, and beneficial. I looked long and hard for a line that would represent what I believe is important in anything. Now, no program should ever be reliant on a product. I need everybody to understand that. Yeah. But we eat 5 to 6 times a day. And some people find that hard. I even have people tell me they can't do it. Well, it's just because you don't necessarily know exactly the formula and how simple it could be. Right. But if you can replace, let's talk about one small thing. Yeah. Replace 2 meals with a PFC balanced shake. Yep. The shakes are freaking good.
Yeah, they are. They're really good.
Oh my God. You can have them with water. There is like no protein shake out there that you could just have with water. No, I don't want you to have it with just water because it's not PFC balanced, but it is. And so this month, just until Friday, so in order, Arbonne you can buy, and everybody tells me it's expensive. And I look online and I'm like, it is expensive. I think it is, right? When you buy it retail. But when you buy it as a preferred client, you get 24 to 40% off everything. You get free gifts, like free box of fizz sticks, free shipping, all sorts of stuff. And the membership lasts for a year. It's like a Costco membership. Right. This month, you can get the membership for free for the year. Oh. So I was like, this is a great opportunity for people to do one small thing. Yep. You can't even do the 4 weeks to wellness right now because it's not open. Right. And we don't have to do anything big. And if people buy like protein shakes, for example, and they're $2 a shake, that's cheaper than protein bars. So people are out there buying Kind bars and all that garbage. Yeah. This is less than that. Yep. And we will give you free, for anybody that does that, we'll give you PFC balanced shake recipes so you can make amazing shakes, right? So until Friday, you can join. You have to spend $150 retail to get the membership for free. It's totally worth it. Yeah, 2 bags of protein shake. It won't cost you $150 because you'll get the discount. Yep. Right? And you get free shipping. Yep. And so for anybody watching this is what I'm going to say, okay? Because I like to do my secret code at the end, right? I like secret codes. Okay, there's a secret code is one small step. That's the word. That's what people have to say to me. One small step. Don't write it in the comments. Send me a private message, or you could send Deb a private message. Okay. And you just need the code one small step. And if you do that and you take advantage of the Arbonne deal until Friday, I'm going to buy you a shaker bottle, an Arbonne shaker bottle, so you can make your PFC shakes in that, or a 32-ounce Arbonne water bottle. And I love the water bottle because it fits in your cup holder in your car. Yep. So you can be doing one small step, and I'm going to buy you the opportunity to have one of those extra goodies in your delivery when you do that. We will give everybody the PFC shake recipes because I think those are important to have so you can do it right. But how simple is it? Look, we're not asking you to do all of it. We're saying do one small thing. And then after that, you can do one more small thing. And then after that. And right now, those shakes are flipping good. It's like a vanilla milkshake.
It is like a vanilla milkshake. I mean,
or chocolate milkshake.
Yeah. Yep. I personally think that the vanilla is more versatile than the chocolate, but that's just my opinion.
I made chocolate muffins the other day with dark chocolate chips in them. My kids even loved them.
I'm sure they did.
And the kids love the shakes too.
Yeah, my son.
They're so easy. And a lot of people don't know it's a vegan plant-based shake, but most plant-based shakes are not complete protein. So you're not even getting the benefit of the protein. You need it to be complete with all the amino acids that you need. That's one of the reasons why I love this. And because of the ingredients and because of the way that it's made, you don't have any of that aftertaste with it. That's why the kids like it.
Yep.
It really isn't like that chalky whey like flavor. No, and we don't want whey because that's dairy and we don't want that inflammation. That's just going to add to problems. The other thing is protein in liquid form like that absorbs in our body much differently than the food does. So it's really great actually to have a couple of plant-based protein shakes with the right PFC balance. And if you're eating 5 times a day, 2 of them are protein shakes. It's super simple, right?
Well,
Don't even get the rest of the PFC right. Just do one thing. 2 protein shakes are PFC balanced and you're not sure about the rest of them, it's fine. One thing.
Yep.
So,
yeah. It's how we always talk about 1%, that 1% change.
That's all.
James Clear talks about in Atomic Habits, you're turning the temperature up and you don't see the ice cube melt until you get to a certain point, but there's changes that are happening in there. When you make that one little, one change a day, you're making those changes that are going to add up to something big. It's like your daughters when, making that one goal for each day that they have, those one goals added up to a big thing.
And that ice cube didn't even start to melt until like 5 months in for them, right? But it was not because of that 5-month day, that day. It was because of all the work and those little tiny victories. So the code is one small step. And if you go to our Arbonne site, which is disruptyournutrition.com/Arbonne product page, and you decide whatever bundle you want, you'll see that there's the July savings that's in there. Message me or Deb, and we will make sure that your order includes either a water bottle or a shaker bottle. That's so fun. And I meant to bring those with me, but I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
And their bottles are perfect for a fizz stick too.
Oh, I know. That's what I'll do in the afternoon. I'll actually have my Arbonne water bottle with it's the perfect water to fizz ratio.
It is.
You got to try the fizz sticks, y'all. Oh my gosh. Fizz sticks and protein.
Yep.
Right? So. All right. Well, that's it. I'm going to go on for the rest of my day. I hope you enjoy your day. It's hot here. It's going to be hot by you too.
Yes.
100 degrees.
I know. Inside projects today.
Yeah. We have our pool and I was like, girls, you're going to go in the pool. They're like, it's too hot for the pool, Mom. Whatever, girls.
Sometimes with teenagers, that's all you have to say is whatever.
Okay. All right, you guys, I hope to hear from you. I hope you have a great week and keep your perspective strong. Bye.
Bye.